Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. And on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users trying to get folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. Like, subscribe, comment down below. It helps me to help more people just like you. We have a question here from YouTube user Darnell Jenkins, who asks some of the most insightful questions. So I'm always excited when I see his questions pop up. Darnell Jenkins asked us, how do you get your claims to survive a summary judgment motion made by the defendants? Okay, so remember that when you get to summary judgment, you are already all the way through discovery in your case. Discovery will almost always have closed in its entirety. It's over. Whatever you got is what you got. That's the evidence that you have. Whatever you came into the case with and whatever you got in discovery is your evidence. That's important to this discussion, because I'm about to give you a pretty simplified answer that's going to make legal scholars' eyes roll. But we're not legal scholars here. We're trying to get people legitimate, logical, easily understandable answers that may not be the most complete answer, but will be the best way to think about something. And let me remind you, it is a very bad idea to represent yourself in federal litigation or even state court litigation in a discrimination case. It is among the worst ideas. Like shooting bullets at propane tanks. Like, it's just a bad idea, okay? Now, that out of the way, I get it. You got questions anyways. My warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I'm going to answer the question in a way that will give you like a working knowledge of how to address a summary judgment motion. Wherever your case is, court, arbitration, wherever it is, there's going to be a finder of fact. It's going to be a judge, an arbitrator, or a jury, generally speaking. And to get past summary judgment, what you have to show is that a reasonable judge, jury, or arbitrator could decide that your claim could reasonably be true. I'll give you an example. Let's say you will use me as an example. You bring a claim. One of your claims is that there is discrimination going on in your workplace, and only white guys named Vince get promotions in your job place. You say that's the case, and the employer has one witness who verbally says, that's not true at all. Your word against her word, right? It just, you say it's true, witness says it's not true. Could a judge, jury, or arbitrator still find for you? Yeah, of course. They can just say, I believe you more. In fact, I would argue there's a high chance they would. Why wouldn't the employer have the evidence on that? Why couldn't the employer, if that's their claim, produce mountains of paper documenting all the other people who weren't named Vince and aren't white as the day is long, who got promotions, right? I mean, why? Where's the paper, right? Like, I would say the judge, the jury, the arbitrator should find for you, because it doesn't make any sense that the employer has to rely on a verbal statement in that situation. That's bonkers. So you should then survive summary judgment, because you could win at trial. Same example. Let's say you make the same argument. Only white guys named Vince get promotions in this company. And the employer rolls in with 30 people who received that promotion who were not white guys and were not named Vince. They've got all 30 people. They have witness statements from all 30 people. They have the documentation for the promotions. They have the documentation for the pay raises. They have all the emails with all the signature blocks with the title for the promotion. The old title, the new title. They've got them both. Looks like they got the promotion. And all their coworkers recognize them as that new promoted position, remember the promotion. And in the org chart, there's an old org chart that shows them before the promotion and a new org chart that shows them after the promotion. and neutral third parties from like other companies. Like, yeah, that guy got a promotion. I was dealing with him as an account exec, and then he's the super duper account exec. And that guy is neither white nor named Vince. So people who are not white guys named Vince got promotions. Well, my friend, that's quite a bit of evidence. And it's hard to imagine how a judge, a jury, or an arbitrator could possibly buy into your version of events, given the mountain of human beings and documentation who corroborate the defendant's version of events. Now, listen, is that oversimplified? Are there much closer questions? Of course, but I'm trying to paint the simplest possible picture here, right? If you can't win, if no reasonable jury, judge, or arbitrator could find on your behalf on that particular claim, given the evidence at hand, then it's unlikely to survive summary judgment. I could give you 1,000,001 other examples of things that are closer cut, but it's not really going to do that much good. We're trying to paint by numbers here, essentially, right? We're trying to make this simple and clear so you can work with the concepts as you're doing things. Or just while your attorney's doing things, right? You can understand why your attorney's like, hey, I'm worried about this particular claim in summary judgment. And I've had that conversation. Like, hey, listen, you got 10 claims here, and one of those claims, I don't think it's getting through summary judgment. I'm okay with that, but I just want you to know, I don't want you to be surprised. That claim did not do well when the evidence came in. And you can have clients who are like, oh, yeah, I understand. You make good points there. I guess that one claim will go, and we'll have the other 9, right? Or you can have clients be like, listen, Vince, if you know it's fucking good for you, you're going to get that fucking claim through summary judgment, or I'm going to gut you. And you got to be like, okay, so that was the threat of physical violence, and a silly one, because look at you. But also, look at the evidence. Look at the situation. The other 9 claims are very likely to survive. That one is the one I'm warning you about. And I'm warning you up front because, listen, look at it. It's a dog. It's going nowhere. And frankly, when you came in here, you probably didn't. You're either talking out of your ass or you're making some shit up. Because if you were honest with me, if I knew what really happened, that claim would have made it into this complaint, right? But it's helpful for you to know when you're arguing with your attorney what they're talking about, what they're trying to say to you. It's also helpful if your attorney is not being the most forthright with you and they're like, hey, you could lose all your claims in summary judgment, so you better take this settlement. And you're sitting there like, can you explain to me why my claims would be dismissed in summary judgment? Doesn't seem like a real risk given the evidence. Can you tell me more about that? Why do you think that's a risk and I should settle my case? And if they're like, oh yeah, because they're not going to make it. Okay, why? Why aren't they going to make it, right? So this is useful to know. This kind of simplified version of this is going to be really handy to have in your back pocket for a number of different situations. It's great when attorneys are being very truthful, but you don't fully understand what's going on. It's also great when attorneys are absolutely full of shit and they're trying to pressure you into settlement, because now you can know what they're trying to not say to you, right? They want to pressure you with fear, but they won't explain to you why. Right? Either way, I think this is going to help you out. Darnell, thank you as always. Thank you for the questions. You asked the best questions. I think I already said it, but I'll say it again. Like, subscribe, comment down below. The comments apparently help the channel a great deal. I think like a month and a half ago, we hit 2,000. And it was like we did a little video. It was all happy and yay. And then we hit 3,000 like 3 or 4 days ago, and I didn't even do anything. So, channel's growing. Appreciate you for the likes, the comments, the shares. The shares are big. And remember, almost everybody works. A lot of people never win.